Once upon a time, I found a Nissan 350Z camping in the woods non-recreationally, and now it's got a few problems that we're gonna fix here today. Welcome to Elsie's World. My name is Michael Elsie, and I have been fixing up this abandoned and wrecked Nissan 350Z. You may be wondering why I'm doing all this work to this car. Well, it's because these typically cost around $7,000 to $10,000 in decent condition, but since this car was home to many species of Alabama wildlife and has more problems than Prince Harry, it ended up only costing me $500. I thought I would be able to quickly and easily fix this car, but unfortunately that has not been the case because in the past few episodes, we had to pull it out of the woods, thoroughly clean and restore the interior, fix all the engine issues, and we even swapped out the automatic transmission for a manual shifting transmission. I've really been enjoying driving this car around, but it still has wreck damage and the body is extremely beat up. So I'm going to attempt to rebuild this Nissan and make it look as good as it performs. So this episode, I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone and I'm going to try to do all the paint and body work by myself. So let's get to it. In order to make this car look better than it was brand new, I'm going to have to completely disassemble all the removable body panels, door handles, and trim so that they can be refurbished or replaced, then bodyworked and painted. I have to replace this bent headlight bracket that was damaged in the wreck, but I managed to sneak it in there without removing the whole radiator and core support assembly. I then test fit a used fender that I purchased, and it saved me over $200 compared to buying a new one. It doesn't matter that it's scratched up because it will be getting repainted anyways. Since these used parts worked out very well, I now need to find a used B-pillar trim because this piece of plastic is over $1,200 new from Nissan. And guess what? I found the infamous A-pillar trim locally. I will show you when we went and got this right here. As you can see on my black car, this is broke and he so happens to have it, as well as complete doors so that I can get the handles out of and all that stuff I need. Dude, thank you so much.
You're welcome, brother. Anytime. On G35.
Oh, yeah. So he's a G guy as well, so this is going to save us a lot of money.
Only $200.
$200. Like
Two doors, pillar, and the drive shaft.
Yeah, thank you again,
welcome,
sir.
brother.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, you never know what you're going to
Don't
find right in
forget
your
to
backyard.
subscribe to his channel, though. He's a really good guy.
Oh yeah, thank you,
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
brother.
Thanks everyone. Now that I've secured all the expensive body panels for an amazing deal thanks to Sammy, I can now sleep well at night knowing I didn't spend a mortgage payment on a piece of plastic trim. So I now get back to removing more trim and lights so that we don't have paint overspray and tape lines all around these pieces. The goal is to make the paint look better than it was when it was new, so we are taking all the steps that a professional restoration shop would take, but you know, we can pretend we're professionals here today. Is there a way to open the hatch without a key fob? Because I keep having to use this little emergency lever. I keep having to like pull this with a coat hanger. It's really annoying. I don't see a way. Oh, there's a button. There's a button under the rear bumper. Okay, yeah. This is the last piece of trim I am having a really hard time getting off. And it is hard as a rock, and I'm worried it's gonna break our back glass. So I got the steam cleaner out. I'm gonna try to like heat it up and turn it more into a rubbery substance. I just don't want to break this glass. It's softer. Let's keep this moving. Let's keep going, baby. I get this fender roughly where I want it before removing it from the car, but we will finish this repair later on off the car. Let's look at this bumper I got. And you might be wondering why it looks worse than the bumper that was on the car. Yes, it does. But the one that was on the car had these very important mounting flanges ripped off. And this thing looks like it went through the Alabama mud bog. Like pretty much everything on this 350Z, the bumper needs to be stripped down so I can repair the damage. So I still have a couple of low spots here in the bumper, so I'm gonna heat it up from behind and push these out and we'll sand it flat. We did the same thing with the LS400. Let's get to it. So I just got a screwdriver and you can see the bumper move coming on up like that. Same right here. You see where my flat sandpaper was not making contact, and now when I sand it, it should make contact with this. Plastic does have a very good memory to it. This feels a lot better now. I think we're good. Let's find out. That never gets old. That is so cool. Yes. That's such an obvious spot too on the bumper, so we needed that to look clean. My old earbuds were on their last leg and they really hurt my ears after like 30 minutes, so I just made the switch to Raycon and I love these things. A lot of us struggled trying to find the perfect gift for dad, something more meaningful than a tie, but not too expensive to where he gets mad at us for spending too much money because, you know, dads like to spend less to give us children more. So that's where these Raycons come in at a perfect price point. Help your dad have a relaxing and fun Father's Day by giving him the gift of these Raycon everyday earbuds so he can enjoy his favorite music, podcast, and make phone calls in crystal clear sound. One of my favorite features is the active noise cancellation, which is perfect for this loud shop, and even at home while I'm doing work in the yard and editing on the computer. It allows for 8 hours of playtime, therefore I can work uninterrupted without constantly having to recharge them. These are for sure the most comfortable earbuds I've tried, and I'm able to wear them all day without getting those annoying earaches. And if your dad's not liking his Raycons, they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. I've also been loving these protective case covers. As a dad who does all his own handiwork, I need things to be durable and protected, especially in the shop. And not only do these look great, they support wireless charging, so I don't even have to take the protective cover off to get 90 minutes of battery in just 10 minutes of charging. While I'm working, I'm usually listening to Spike's Car Radio podcast or soothing hip-hop beats to really put me in the flow zone and good rhythm, which makes working on these projects so much more enjoyable. One huge plus side is the ergonomic design. They fit so well and they don't fall off my ears while I'm constantly crawling around and going up under the dashboards of cars. So go to buyraycon.com/MichaelElsies to get 15% off site-wide. Brought to you by Raycon. By ordering, you'll be helping support this channel, so huge thank you to Raycon, and thank you all for watching and supporting us here at Elsie's World. The link is in the description below. Now let's get back to work. I got the hood stripped. That took a lot longer than I thought, but I got all the bad spots out of it. Borderline had to strip the whole hood down to bare metal, but this is where we're at. It's beautiful. There's no dings in it, surprisingly. For stripping down paint, I usually start with 80 grit, then I step up to 180 grit, so that way I have a nice etched surface to apply body filler or primer to. Goal is to feather it out, make it look like that, because if it's a circle you'll see these rings after I paint it, especially with the darker colors. So we'll take this, and you actually don't push down really hard, and you'll see it grows out in feathers as I sand. Look at this. Remember, the hood came up and just destroyed this. But now, I think we are good. And we'll barely have to skim this with body filler. Woo-hoo! Yes! Now that our fenders are stripped down and the rips in the metal are welded up, it's time to wash the car again. Since all of the trim panels are now removed, it has revealed 22 years worth of gunk that was hiding underneath. With the whole front end stripped down, it's now time to move on to the unibody itself and really dig into this roof and see just how bad it is. almost got this whole half of the roof stripped, and it's a good thing I am, because look at all these rust spots. It takes a strong man to admit when he's wrong. I am a strong man.
Thought you were gonna say I was the one that needed to admit when I was wrong.
Well,
it's worth more than $500. All right.
Look,
It shows some promise.
all that pitting and the clear coat and base coat, I believe, let moisture under the paint and is rusting it under here. And you know, when you see all these little rust spots, they're gonna come back if we put paint on top of it. So I'm having to strip the whole roof.
I mean, good news is you know how to do it. I mean,
I've had a bit of practice on stripping cars down to the metal.
it's either time or money, or both in this case.
This is both.
If you take the accounting part out, this is a lot of promise.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Did he block me?
I don't know, dude. It's funny.
Oh,
What's going on, dude?
hey man, it's Michael from Elsie's World. Hey, you're on.
Never heard of him, but go ahead.
Neither is anyone else. So I sanded down the roof of the 350Z down to bare metal. There's little spots of rust everywhere.
Ooh. So that's nice. That's good stuff.
What should I do to be sure these don't like come up through the paint?
Okay, so I had the exact same problem on the Evo, and it was right on the window area. And I was ready to prime the car, but unfortunately, like when I found it, it was like the day that I was gonna prime the car. So what I did was I treated it with OSPHO, which is like basically like an acid, and it converts the rusted metal. And I have never had an issue with it yet. We're going on 2 years now with that car painted.
I got some.
So it's oh sweet.
Well, dude,
By
I
the
appreciate.
way,
Yes.
like, share, and subscribe to Jack Builds It, the best channel in the world, and we'll see you guys when you go over there and leave a comment.
Okay. Go check out Jack Builds It. Is your Supra done yet?
Hey man, we were all being positive and good, and then now you just go ahead and just bring up stuff like that here. Okay, whatever, dude.
Sweet dreams.
All right, talk to you later, dude.
All right, dude. See you, man. Bye.
Bye.
I used this same rust converter to clean out the fuel tank in my Lexus SC400 in a prior episode, so thankfully I had some to apply to the roof, and I let it sit for 24 hours, and it looks like it's working great. This car has ended up being way more in-depth than I thought it would be, but I want it to look good, and we are way too far into this to turn back now. No! I knew I was forgetting something. Yes! Oh my gosh. It's a little worse than I thought. Thankfully, I got this. All right, let's start moving some metal around. You may have seen me use this tool on the channel before, but it very lightly welds a stud to the metal so that the dent can be pulled out. Since I can't access the dent from the backside, this machine really ends up saving the day, so thanks again to Jack for giving me this toy. So now that all the metal work is done, it is time to get dusty and lay out some body filler over all these metal repairs that I made, just to get everything slicked out properly. This black powdery stuff is called guide coat. I lay it down on the body filler, then sand it down. It gives me a good visual reference to see any low spots or pinholes I may have missed while sanding. Our door, I believe, is good. It feels pretty good, but you can see there's still high spots where the metal's poking through. I don't think they're gonna show up. I am not a professional, but I do believe this is gonna be okay. So I'm heavily convinced the hood did fly up and smack the roof. So I got this dent pulled up with the Maxi, and I took some 80 grit on a flat block here to find low spots because it does not feel right. You see where all our sand scratches are here and nothing in the center. That means this is low. I can feel it. So there's a dent. It seems this car has a never-ending stream of dents and dings that I keep on discovering every time I work on it. This is an extremely time-consuming process, but it's actually kind of fun moving the metal around and smoothing it out with a body filler. It's oddly satisfying. This is how you know how bad this whole car was. It looked like a bunch of acorns or something had been hitting it, maybe even chestnuts. What'd the doctor say to the chestnut?
I don't know, cough.
You have a broken collarbone. I found yet another small dent. Anywhere it's shiny is where my sandpaper is not making contact with the paint, which means it's lower than all the metal surrounding it. For small ones like this that I can't access from behind, I'll use body filler. And first, I'll sand the shiny coat off it with 180 grit sandpaper so it has a coarse surface for the body filler to hold on to. Then I'll mix the body filler up with hardener. Just a simple line of hardener over the top of the body filler, mix it up, and wipe it on as smooth as possible. It takes a lot of practice, but the smoother it's applied, the less sanding you have to do. And there you have it. That's how you fix a dent or ding with body filler. Since the car will be lower down, I doubt I'll be able to run fender liners, so to prevent rock chips from creating reverse dents in my fenders, I coat the backside of them with a protective truck bed liner. Then I move on to sanding down the side skirts. Alright, I'm using the PPG epoxy primer. It is JP375 and it's a 2-to-1 mix ratio with their epoxy hardener. Don't want to cheap out on the epoxy because that is what's sealing in the steel. And I don't have a drying system, so I have this dryer. This takes the moisture out of the lines so that there's not water getting in. I've watched Jay do this 1,000 times, and Eddie. New gun, new parts, new lids. I'm 99.99% sure that this paint shaker needs to be bolted to the ground. I'm going to clamp this sucker down real good to my trailer. I let the primer shake for 15 minutes, then I mix it up, clean my panels, and it's finally time to start spraying material. I usually have Jay here with me and I ask him questions the whole time, but he's not here, so I'm having to carefully follow the directions from PPG and try to remember all the advice he's told me. They say spraying primer is a great way to learn how to spray base coat and clear coat. I've watched so many people paint and so many videos on the internet, but I definitely don't have those movements down like all those real painters do, but the only way I'm going to get there is to practice. We still got to prime the roof. We ended up having yet another setback. After letting the primer cure, I could see the roof still didn't look right and it did not feel right either, so I blocked it down again. Well, this feels great like this on the roof, but if you go right here, it does not. This is still high and this is still high, which means this spot of filler is low, which means I have to redo this whole thing. I removed the headliner and pushed the roof up a little bit more with my body hammer. Then I had to strip all the body filler off that I had previously laid out since it cracked during this process. Then I mixed and laid on new body filler yet again. Sand it down once again and it finally feels just right. So now I can move on to the hood. So I had the hood ready for polyester primer and I was trying to move it and I dropped it. Well, that wasn't too bad. Just need to sand it down, smooth it out, and I think we're okay here. I got my paint wall set up. I think we're good to go. This is the same stuff we used on the Million Mile Lexus. Beautiful paint. I'm nervous, but Mama didn't raise no fool. I am just going to paint this hood first and see how it turns out before I paint everything else. Everything's gonna be fine. The temperature is perfect. It's almost 70 degrees. And And we got some kind of air show going on overhead. Go get them, boys! The color of the Z is straight black. There's no metallic, no pearl. I don't know what I'm doing, but this is called Product Description Sheets, or PDS. These are the instruction manuals for each product. The process I'm doing here is spraying epoxy primer only on the bare metal, then I lay down the sealer, followed by base coat, and then clear coat. This is the OEM color of this 350Z. It's straight black, so there are no crazy extra steps that would have to take here like when we spray pearl or candy colors. I wanted to keep my first paint job simple and see how this goes. Another plus side to having a very simple and straight color is with straight black paint, we can repaint panels by themselves without having to blend the paint so it matches on the adjacent panels. If I mess something up, it should be a lot easier to fix versus if it was a pearl or candy paint. All right, the hood's painted. It looks like it was painted outside. Man, like, okay, so it looks really good in certain angles. Like, see, look, it looks so good right here. But then look at all the texture over here. I'm gonna let it cure before I figure out if I made a huge mistake or not. After letting the paint cure for a couple days, the texture is still not gone away. This rebuild has had some very high points and some very low moments like this one, and I'm feeling very bummed out for even attempting to paint this car by myself, and I'm hoping I can find a way to save this hood without having to repaint it. I've never done a paint correction, cut and buff before, so I make some calls to try to find some help.
What do you think you did wrong?
I think it was the air pressure going up and down on my gun. So it'd go up to like 36 PSI and then it'd go back down to like 24. All right, I just loaded up the hood in my truck and we're gonna take it to my house because I have someone who claims they can salvage the hood. They can cut, buff, polish it out and make it look beautiful. So I wanna learn how. He's also gonna teach me and I'm gonna teach him bodywork in exchange. So let's get to it.
We're gonna hard block it with 1500 grit and then soft block it from there and buff it out. I think it'll be pretty easy to save, but we'll see if I'm wrong. I might be, who knows? So this is my favorite block. It's hard acrylic on one side, soft foam on the other. And what's gonna happen is I take 1500 grit sandpaper, wrap it around the block, basically take clear coat off until there's no more orange peel here.
Dude, this is awesome. I really appreciate you helping me out for real.
I'm happy to do it.
Honestly, dude, that already looks pretty slick.
So first thing we'll notice is this is just first pass, and this is me wrapping paper around the acrylic side. So you're gonna see a lot of like little dots and spots and stuff that come through that the sandpaper obviously hasn't touched. And those are our valleys. And the flatter areas that are more consistently sanded, that's peaks that have gone down.
This is a very visual process here. This is kind of cool to watch.
Right now I'm using 1500 grit, and when I switch to 2000 grit, you see all my scratches are running this way.
Yep.
When I switch to 2000, I'm gonna start going this way, and it's gonna cross cut against this layer of sand scratches, and it's gonna give it a better cut.
This is very similar to doing body work. You're gonna pick up body work like really, really, really fast. As Nathan wet sands the hood, Will and I diligently watch him precisely sand this thing down, working his way from 1500 grit to 2000 and finishing it off with 3000 grit sandpaper, and that has left us with this nice smooth surface that you see here. That looks like lamb fur.
That's exactly what it is. It's lamb's wool. And this is heavy cut compound, and we're about to see if I've up or not.
Okay, all right. Edit that one out.
It's one or the other.
I knew you could do it. I was just pretending you couldn't, you know, just to, you know.
Fake it till you make it, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude.
That's all I do.
That,
I told you he could do it.
I mean, I totally believed you, but that fast. Okay, I guess it helped that it was PPG clear coat.
PPG is pretty easy to deal with. It dries pretty quick. It hardens really nicely. The sandpaper bites into it well. PPG is by far my favorite, and you know, if it wasn't good, people wouldn't use it.
I know you just hit this real quick too, but that is crazy.
And that is very hazy compared to how it's gonna finish out in the end.
All right, this man means business.
Rotaries leave trails, or hologramming. You can kind of see all those little guys. That's why you can finish with a rotary, but most people don't. But a DA is far more efficient at achieving a finish that is good. A rotary is very, very efficient at cutting.
I mean, yeah, that's literally like bed coating over here. SEMA show ready there. We're just hanging out in my driveway. Just some boys.
This is a microfiber pad. It's got a shorter nap to it, and it's a little bit softer of a material physically than the lamb's wool is. So it's gonna cut through some of the marring we left behind with the wool pad and the heavy cut. I've switched to a lighter cut compound. It's still a compound, it's not a finishing polish. But really all I'm looking to do is work my heavy rotary marring out right now before I move to the DA. That way I can run the DA at a lower speed and introduce less heat into the panel. So we did a lamb's wool heavy cut, and then we just finished down rotary with a microfiber, still on the rotary. Now we're switching to an orange foam pad, which is a medium stiffness foam pad. And we're gonna get rid of our rotary holograms.
It just keeps getting better and better.
So we're gonna go with a very soft black foam pad.
Yeah.
It's the softest you can get besides a red, and give it a nice good final polish pass, and that'll be the level of gloss that we're at.
Okay, how did you get this far at 21 years old? At 21 years old, I was still, you know, struggling.
I tripped and fell into a situation with a good buddy of mine, and it worked out well.
I would
That's
say
about
so.
the best way I can put it.
Did you go to school for this?
No. I bought a chemical guy's buffer when I was 17 because I wanted to buff my own truck and fell down a rabbit hole.
Yep, that's finished product.
I don't know, man. Can you make it more? No, I'm kidding, dude. That looks great.
Throw a ceramic coating on it, see what happens.
Oh, it's getting ceramic coated. There's quite a difference. You make me look like a real automotive painter.
That's professional work, man.
Hey, now we're talking.
I'm so amped up right now, boys.
It's gonna be a good looking car.
After getting my first lesson, I now jump on with Will and we start wet sanding and polishing while Nathan helps me get into a good rhythm and hits me with a ton of tips and advice as we go. As you can tell, my vibe has drastically improved now thanks to these guys. Mom, what's he doing?
Coca-Cola, man.
Your trust in me. Coast to coast from JFK to Tuscany. Doing AMAs with all y'all, see what's up with me. On my dolo on the daily, but tonight I need some company. Come and link me. I don't care what I might open on your link tree. Clearing out your history. Ain't got no label now officially. In more ways than one, I'm independent limousine riding.
Oh my gosh. And to think this thing had a custom golf ball finish before. It had more craters than Mars. I didn't think it was possible. Like, I knew it could be done, but not to this level. How about that? It's been chaos. We're back at the shop finally. Dude, this hood.
It's good.
All right, you did it, man. You did it. It is time for Avalon King ceramic coat. Will that make it even more shiny?
Yes, theoretically, it should.
I always use Avalon King ceramic coating here in the shop, and I'm going to watch Nathan's technique on how he applies it versus how I do, since he has more experience with it than me. If you're not familiar with ceramic coating, it is way better than wax and offers much more protection. It encapsulates the paint, and I have a link in the description if you would like to protect your car with Avalon King, and by ordering you are helping to support this channel and a great company. I want to give a huge thanks to Nathan, Will, and Justin for helping me with this hood. Nathan is a true master of his craft. It's time to put some primer on here, and then we can finally paint the rest of the car. Let's get to it. All right, it is time to load up the car and all the parts finally and go to Solvent Division so we can paint this thing in a paint booth and hopefully get a much cleaner paint job this time so we don't have to wet sand and buff a lot. We're gonna guide coat and make sure I get every little imperfection out so it doesn't show up in the final paint job. After guide coating to get more sanding scratches out that I missed, I finally had Jay's approval to start laying down more primer and sealer. He caught a lot of spots that I had missed, and we also think that part of my issue with all the texture on the hood is because I did not flat block the primer and sealer. So now I go ahead and do that to give us the best chance for the flattest possible paint job. I have a lot more to learn and foresee a lot more practice here in my future. Alright, now that the quarters are primed, the quarter glass can be cut out, and we finally caught Dave from Dave's Auto Glass with his offspring, aka free labor. And how do you do that without breaking it?
Use a rubber hammer.
Oh, it's heating it up. I see it smoking.
Yeah. What this thing does is an electromagnetic current, and it heats up the metal to the point that the glue melts loose.
He's a good man.
Yeah. Refrain.
Great guy. I saw him.
To edit.
Oh my God, there it goes.
There it is.
That is nice. And we didn't, like, I thought all the seal was going to get chewed up.
What,
Thanks, man.
You want to try the other side?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? And what's the worst that could happen? After months of hard work, it is finally time to paint this NISSAN 350Z. All right, I'm about to spray. So we have a game plan. If I drop the bag, he's gonna film. I'm gonna spray this time. And if I mess up, he's just gonna take the gun. Take the gun away. I learned so much in a short amount of time. Even after working on cars for many years and occasionally painting a part here and there, this car was a whole other animal with all the damage and it being an all-over paint job. This rebuild has pushed me well past my limits, but I was able to do a lot on my own, and I did have to have Jay step in afterwards and really help slick out this clear coat so I don't have to spend the next few months wet sanding. All right, this is the next morning, and it looks good in here. I am very happy with this. Way less texture than before. Look at this. All right, let's load it up on the trailer. I know I didn't do a great job, but how'd I do?
God, it's all right. Tried some new stuff. Made a lot of mistakes, but it's all good. But it's all good. Everything can be fixed, so we good.
Yeah, there's a few dings I missed. Spraying the paint is really hard, really tedious. You have to hold the gun just right or it'll dry spray and create all that texture. Dude, you saved the paint job, because
I don't know. It's a lot better than it was when we started, but
it is definitely better. But thanks to you, you were able to go back behind my coats of base and clear and slick them out a little bit, because
a lot of material.
Yeah. Dude, it looks so wild seeing a Z that shiny. I'm pumped, full of stoke. We got to put it back together, and there's a few more goodies going on this car. I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe. See ya.